Join Dr. Laura and myself as we take you through a partnered stretching sequence. Not only is it super fun, but you can get so much more out of it by adding a little bit more pressure to each of those stretches. So some of our favorite stretching now, partner stretching. I'm going to be here with Laura and we're going to go through the whole sequence, and then you'll get the opportunity to follow along and then swap over at the end for your other partner. So I'll get you to have your legs out straight. We go into a forward fold position. I guess the benefits, just as we start, the benefits around this partner stretching, obviously accountability, doing it with someone else, but you can get a little bit more out of each stretch by adding a little bit more pressure to each of them. Remember to always, though, to communicate with your partner just in case it's a little strong for them. So Laura's going to go into this forward fold here. She's going to make sure that the cushion underneath her bum is out so that the sit bones are on the ground. She's going to stretch out. Now, where the pressure gets placed on the back here, you don't want it all to be on the upper back. It just puts too much pressure on the lower back. So we're going to start from the lower back here. We're going to slowly push in, always just communicating if Laura needs me to ease off this a little bit more. And she melts into this stretch with her breath. Now, depending on the flexibility of your partner, we can then start to add a little bit more pressure in with the knees, and then onto the mid back, push a little further into this one. Now, as your partner's down here, just remind them to connect back to the breath, always using that exhale as the opportunity to go a little deeper. Now, the goal for you is anywhere sort of between that 1 to 3 minute mark. Cool, so I'm going to slowly come off Laura here, just slowly releasing the pressure. She's going to slowly come up. Now what we'll go into is the second stretch. I'll get you to move forward down a little bit. Now her arm's going to come out to the side. I'm going to place one foot in the middle of her back. I'm going to slowly apply the pressure and then slowly start pulling her arms back. She's going to melt over that foot. Again, always just communicating in case there's a little bit too much pressure. And we're going to see sort of where we can go with this stretch as I straighten the leg out. So this is a deep, deep stretch on the chest, on the shoulders. Again, you can play with that head position. You want to make sure that you do take those arms out and around rather than back, and it really connects back to that chest and that shoulder for the stretch. We're getting a nice big extension through the spine. Again, we can start, if it's available to the person, start to play around just with a little bit of movement. Cool, so we're going to slowly come back out of this one. Cool, so Laura's going to come back. We were prepping for this one before with that forward fold, so we're going to go into a partnered pancake stretch. So again, you're looking for at least 90 degrees. If your partner can't sort of go past that vertical point with their upper body, you will elevate their hips with a bolster or a block. Laura's quite flexible through here. So what we're going to do is going to take the bum cheeks out from underneath the sit bone. She's going to have a big inhale, and on the exhale, she's going to fold forward. Now, there's a couple of options here with your partner. You can then grab the inside of their thighs, you pull it back. You can then place the knees onto the lower back as you push them further forward. Now this is getting a really strong stretch on the inside of the legs. Now the options here that I was saying before, we can take the hands off. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to pull the thigh back, okay? Trying to get the knee, get the foot to face up and back, creating a lot stronger stretch. So the option that we can do here is the hands come off the legs. The hands can come onto the lower back, and I'm pushing her forward through that lower back and down, creating a lot stronger stretch than the person or Laura could if she was by herself. Again, always using that opportunity of that exhale to dive a little deeper into it. If it's available to you, make sure that those toes stay up, trying to keep that stretch in there, keep this stretch strong. A lot of people with lower back pain are very, very tight through this inside part of the leg. So this one's super beneficial for anyone that gets that tightness or that pain through that area. Cool, so I'm gonna help Laura slowly come up out of this one. Now this would have to be one of my favorites. So Laura's gonna get set up in a top of a push-up position. Cool. She's gonna take one foot outside the hand, whatever one you would like. Yeah. She's gonna go to somewhere where it's comfortable. She's gonna drop the back knee. Now we're gonna use this base of her spine as a seat. So what we'll do is we come in, take a lot of the pressure into the feet. You're gonna slowly lower your weight onto the lumbar. This is gonna really push her hips down. You're gonna either be opening up on the front side of the hip, on the right leg, or gonna be really deep into that back part of the hamstring. Now, if it's available to you, you will then slowly lift this foot up. Again, communicating with how much pressure you're putting in by sitting on here. And slowly pull this leg all the way in. So Laura said it's enough. It's quite a strong stretch. So by lifting this leg, she's getting a deep, deep, deep stretch on this front side of the hip. So now just be careful as you lower this down, especially over the kneecap. I'm going to slowly take this pressure off her. Good. I'm going to slowly lift my bum out of her hips. And she's going to take it over to the other side. Again, it's quite, there's a lot of pressure as you switch back over to the legs. Good, so she's going to get set up into the other position. Make sure that the knee and the feet are right. Again, we're going to take a little seat onto the hips here. Again, communicating how much pressure. Wait for her to sort of get comfortable in this uncomfortable position. When she is, she'll untuck her back foot, and then I'll slowly lift this up. Again, it's probably a pretty good way to gauge if there's a bit more tension on the left or the right hand side. We didn't do this on the other side, but you can add in a bit of a resistance stretch. So I can hold here. Laura can push the tension against my hand for 3, for 2, for 1. And then she releases and I can pull back in. We get a little bit more. We can go through 3 to 5 rounds of that. 3, 2, 1, release. So you've got the option to go through more rounds. I'm going to release her foot back off. I'm going to slowly bring my bum off her hips. She's going to slowly come out. Now, I've gone quite intense through these hips. We're going to finish off on a child's pose. So we're going to split the knees a little wider for this one. Yep. Hands are going to reach out, forehead to the ground. Now through this position, we're just going to press our weight into their hips, pushing the bum as much as we can down to the heels. If it's available to them, you might push the hips slightly forward. We then can start to push the bum and the hips back down. This gets a nice lengthen through the lumbar as we push the hips back now down into the heels. Again, using that opportunity of the exhale to maybe dive a little deeper as you put a little bit more pressure onto those hips. Now, your job is to press replay and swap partners. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Be sure to follow Kula Health on Instagram and Facebook so you can access many more of these free videos just like you've experienced today.